Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. For those who just joined me, my name is Veronica and I would like to discuss the topic of divorce in the United States. That's something I really didn't want to discuss for a very long time because unfortunately it happened to me and my family, and we go through that and it's really hard. So I just would like to share my experience with you, that you avoid the same mistakes that we did with my ex-husband. And unfortunately it's really I know a couple more families that are my friends, and they separated as well. It's something that really I was not able to talk about that for like maybe 2 years, and I was thinking and just go through the difficult time to understand how my new way of life will be, because we have a child and it was really hard to figure it out, what is better for him, what is better for me and my ex-husband, because I get married again. He found a new girlfriend very soon and fast, and it just was like too much going on, too much stress. And especially when you're doing these mistakes, when you don't actually know what to do, where to start, how much it can cost, because the divorce in United States, it's not free, it's not that simple. I mean, it can be simple and it can be really complicated. It's really up to you. Every situation is so unique. It can be really different from what other people have. Every case is really, depends from your personal situation, how long you've been married, and etc, etc. So let's get started. So where we can start. So if you are in the point right now where you are actually going through divorce, or you realize that it's coming, I will be saying about the Florida state, because that's where it happened to me. And I need to tell you that every state is a little bit different how divorce process work, because sometimes you can get married right away after you get divorced. You need to wait maybe like a year or so. Again, the price to file the case of divorce also varies from state to state. And what I can say, so you need to check on the county where you've been married, and sometimes you can file the divorce papers, the divorce case online, the forms. You actually need to go to the court, and I guess it's a family child and family division or something like that. I don't really remember. It was like 2 years ago. I get divorced in 2016, and we gathered the information like little by little, and I heard many horrible stories about the divorce in United States, that it's better, of course, to hire the lawyer. And that time we were not ready for that. We didn't prepare for that. I mean, I don't know if you can even ever be prepared for the divorce, but so we've been talking about this as going on, if we really should file the divorce or not with my ex-husband. But sooner or later we came to the decision that we need to. We've been together for 4 years, and then one day we just said, well, that's where we are right now, and it's probably will be the decision to end our relationship. That doesn't go to anywhere anymore, doesn't make any sense for anybody. And our child was just like 3 years old, so it was really hard, and I didn't really realize how hard it will be on me personally. And now our child is 5 years old, and he starts to asking questions, but I guess he understands that he understands some part of it, like just for himself, like that mom and dad doesn't live together anymore, and we moved so far from Florida to another state. We live in Montana right now, so that makes it even more complicated. But I try not to think about that. Even after 2 years, how everything changed, and at this fast-paced environment, I just, you know, try right now to really fix my life and put it together and just keep going, living and being you me, and learn a lot of new stuff. So, well, so divorce can cost from, I guess, $400, or if you can file it online. There are some companies that you can take a look when you don't have anything to discuss with your ex-husband or ex-wife, and it's just very simple. You don't have kids and stuff, you don't have something in common like property or cars or business, then it's very simple, it's very easy. There will be no really problems for you. But if you have children, and if you have you know, a lot of stuff, like you bought the house in marriage, and, you know, of course, furniture and this and that, if you've been not working or you've been working, and it's a lot of like small step that you need to consider before filing. You really need to take a look at the papers. So you can file the divorce in the county where you've been married, or you can file it online, or you can hire a lawyer, or you can, you know, just go to the court of the county, pay the fee to get the forms, and just look through them. And, you know, if you have any questions, of course, it's easier to have consultation with a lawyer, and then lawyers charged like $2,000 to fill out all the paperwork and see what they can do the better for you to get more like child support, or even the how it calls, I forgot, that the alimony for ex-wife or something like that, if, for example, she doesn't work. I agree with my husband before we get divorced that you know, like all the conditions, how it's gonna work, what we wanna do, because he bought the car for me, but it was, my name was not on the papers, and technically this car belongs to him, but I pay him for using that like on daily basis. So, and but then I gave him back this car, and I bought myself a new car that belongs only to me. And of course, excuse me, of course he was not happy about that, but you know, it is what it is. It's divorce. It's like a war with the person who you've been loving, and you know, you thought that it's your best friend, but then one day you just understand that it's nothing else left, and then that's where it started, like the most hard part, because if you can find the compromise, if you can really talk to this person without, you know, like arguing, screaming, maybe, you know, like, you know, something else like crazy stuff, and some given names. So then you really need to hire the attorney, because you need to be at the court. You need to present at the court, and you need to go to hearing. So the first person who files the divorce, it means like in general that they win. You know, first come first, you know, it's like competition. I mean, it's really stupid, but it really is. I didn't really know how to fill out all the paperwork, and I didn't really want to read all of this information, because it's like really tons of it. It's a lot, and you know, I thought like, oh, it will be very easy, but unfortunately it was not easy for us. It was for 10 months in Florida. Usually it's not like that. Usually it's like 2-3 months. But in our situation, we did a lot of mistakes in the paperwork, because in some reason my husband think that he shouldn't file this, he shouldn't file that. And you know, I mean, maybe right now I shouldn't charge him or something, but I mean, judge him. But the problem is, you know, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, that we have no idea how to do that. We didn't, you know, we we thought we're doing everything right, but it's actually, you know, some question exists, and it's better to consult with a lawyer. But actually, you know, if you read everything, if you know English well, it's easy. So you just need to be really specific, really need to be careful what you're reading, and, you know, thinking about, like, okay, this makes sense and that makes sense. So for child support, of course, every state depends how much child support your ex-husband or your ex-wife need to pay you, and it depends with whom children's gonna live, and or how many days or nights or holidays they gonna spend with each parent, who pay for traveling, who pay for like insurance and some other expenses for like school or childcare or something like that. So that's where it gets really complicated, and it calls parenting plan. So you need to discuss this parenting plan, and usually, I mean, it just like, if you can agree with your ex-husband what the parenting plan will be, that's cool. If not, then just, you know, it gets really complicated. But we agreed, but still, you know, we tried to figure it out with our work schedule, how many days and nights, and we were really fighting who have the child, and it was kind of crazy, and it was really hard. And sometimes I told him, like, my ex-husband will pick him up from school, and then I was like mad at him and pissed at him because he didn't want to agree to pay the child support. And when we went to the first hearing, the judge told him that he's not right, he needs to correct it, so we need to file it again. And when the first time, the person who filed it, so it was my ex-husband who filed the case, and I get the letter that, you know, somebody filed a divorce case against me. So that's how it works. Like, it's somebody filing the divorce against you, or you filed the divorce case against somebody. I mean, you understand, wife or husband, so it doesn't matter. And then they gave you, like, I guess 21 days or so to respond on this petition. And then you need to answer. I didn't answer because my husband told me that, oh, you don't need to, and they will count that, like, you know, if you didn't answer, then you don't, you agree with the divorce and conditions and stuff, and it was also not right. So we got the paperwork again and again. I guess like 2 or 3 times they returned our case, and they say that you need to correct this, you need to correct that, you have these mistakes, you need to provide more information. Oh, and by the way, what I forgot to tell you, that you need to go and pay extra money for they asking for their classes online. I guess it's like 30 hours or so, or maybe 30 minutes class about the child, you know, like what is the better, you know, for children, that the parents know how to behave after the divorce and how to make it better for children. So we didn't know that as well, like we need to do that. So when they send us the paper with this check that you need to go through this class, and we did because we don't have a choice. That's what needed in the court. So you get married in court in the United States, and you get divorced in court in the United States. And what else? So yeah, we pay like around $400 or so for these forms, and we file them. We try to file them online in some reason, but I'm telling you that and it really didn't work. And then we didn't really have time to go to the court and buy these forms in there in person, but my ex-husband did because he had more time to do that. And I was relying on him because we try to stay friends, we try to trust each other, and then finally, in the middle of this all, in the middle of this battle, it becomes crazy. It becomes real war. I started to hate him when he started to date his new girlfriend, and I just was like so messed up. It's so much information, and it's information that you don't really wanna get in your mailbox. And I mean, actually, no, you don't have it in a mailbox. Somebody bring it. It should be the sheriff of the police or something like that. So they need to give it personal to you, this big envelope. And then you know who is your judge, and then after you check all of this step by step, if you fill it out right, we understand that we can make it, because my husband also came to the dead end, and he's like, oh, well, probably we should try to hire a lawyer. I'm like, okay, I said, I don't have money to hire a lawyer. And sometimes if you just have the part of the case or some correction, the lawyer charge less than $2,000, but I'm telling you that it's still a lot of money. So, and sometimes you can go, if you want the lawyer present at the court, of course he charged a lot. It can be really expensive, but sometimes they can have a phone conversation during the hearing when you present, your ex-husband present, and the lawyer is on the phone, and the judge hear the lawyer as well what's going on. So that's what happened. Our lawyer was a completely fucking asshole, but he was so rude and arrogant. Every time when I tried to call him, he's like, well, you're not my client, I can't really talk to you and stuff. I understand that, but I mean, we try to push as much as we can. That he also did a mistake. He did a mistake in the date of birth of our child or something like that. And I mean, you still need to make sure that even the lawyer doesn't make mistakes, because it happens. And I was so mad at him, because we tried to make it fast, but it was not fast. We tried to file it in May or March, and then it lasts really so long. But I asked some other friends, and they saying, oh, we did everything much faster, 3 months. And I'm like, wow, well, lucky you. And I guess the most important thing, really, it's hard to understand, but you need to calm down. You need to really, work with your partner to go through that as fast as you can, to tell the truth, because as long as it's lost, it's just keeping you back, and it's keeping you meet with this person, talk with this person, or it's going through this hell, and it's really ugly. It can be really ugly. So what I can say, but it's over now, and I'm glad, that it's over, and now I can just start breathing and, try to build my new life with my new husband, who is American. My first husband was Russian. So I went to the hearing. Of course I went. I see my ex-husband, and he, we didn't talk, and that was just understand that you pretend that you don't know each other. He tries sometimes to talk to me, or I try sometimes to talk to him, but it's just, I don't know. It's so weird to, and it's so easy to become enemies. It's so easy to come to misunderstanding and all of that crap that is going on inside your soul, that you just you're broken, you don't know how to figure out this, you don't know how to figure out that, who will pay for what, you need to find you a new place to live. It's crazy. It just really, it is. And I know so many, movies about the divorce, and it's really bad. Americans, they don't like divorces. And what I can say now, after 8 years in the United States, I understand that why most of the men not getting married till really late, when they're 40s, when they're 50s, because they know if divorce happen, it will break you. Seriously, my husband needs to pay the child support till my son will be 18. Our son will be 18. My ex-husband has 4 children, and also he pays child support until all of the kids will be 18. So that's really crazy. I mean, it's choice of life, of regulation, of law, and blah 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 blah. But it's really strict in United States if you don't pay child support. They control that, and you can file the claim or something if you don't get money on time. And people can actually go to jail for that if they don't pay in time and don't pay enough. After all of this happened, I can say that my ex-husband is doing much better now.